Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11. And of course, we're playing as Japan. We're trying to subdue Australia. The Australians are fighting back hard. Okay, don't know exactly who they are and for damage they did. If you were to spell out country names, I'd probably understand a little better what your quote is. I'm guessing, but I'm not absolutely sure of who you're meaning. Savage metal. Not a, criticism, it's just I'm not clear. Okay, oh, are we here yet? Yes, we're here. That's right. We're here with all these stuff. Oh no, the French. Yeah, no, the French. Their whole command and control structure was bad. A lot of bad things going on with the French. Let's see, can we put you on board that? Okay, now, well, no, actually, we're going to select all and get off. Get off the ships. Okay, what we're going to do here is grab the Taiho and, I think it's this force here. And we're going to move the liners over to here so that they're well escorted. Okay, the Taiho is going to turn into an escort for transports. Okay, that is a good selection. Oh, damn it. No, I got him. Oh, come on. I'm hating how I select and unselect. Okay, so, you guys go here. Just get out of my face. Okay, now you're out of there. Okay. Now that's right. Okay, so we're going to send you up to Basra. I think we should send, yeah, we should send you to Basra. That's where the main front fighting the British is. Yeah, they did cooperate. You are right. I don't know a lot about their cooperation in the late war, but they were completely uncooperative and completely disconnected from each other up until that point, and that is their major failure. And we're gonna let these guys go because we're getting more and more heavy land combat. So Japan really did a poor job with that. That they maintained. And unlike the American Navy, which of course had its own Air Force, the American Navy, and well, the Marine Corps had its own Air Force too, I know, but the American Navy primarily, very heavily focused on carrier airplanes and things like specific patrol aircraft. But this is the big but. So yeah, they have things like the PBY flying boat and things like that. Absolutely. But mostly when the Navy was doing land-based aircraft, they bought the same types of aircraft that the Air Force was buying, like the B-25 Mitchell bomber. Now, the Navy version is different, but it's still coming off the same production lines. So one of the versions has a big 75mm single-shot cannon in it. But, so, I mean, there's changes. But where the Japanese Navy Air Force and the Japanese Army Air Force they both built pure land-based only aircraft. That neither of them set up um, to fly off carriers, but they did it from two different Zaibatsus, two different industrial corp concerns, and there was no compatibility concerns. There was no interaction between design companies to share significant amounts of technical information or data. There was none of that going on. So with if the Navy wants to have a pure land-based aircraft or something, they buy a version of the same thing that the Air Force is flying. And so they're definitely two different things, but really functionally, the American Air Force is becoming an independent formation. By the time we're entering World War II, even though it's not really, it's sort of its own thing. Where in Japan, it's the Army's Air Force and the Navy's Air Force, and at least prior to the war with America, they're actually preparing to fight each other, because there is a couple of incidences that the Navy is considering deploying troops into Japan to confront, possibly battle, and likely thinking it was going to turn into a battle. Japanese army troops in Japan. And so obviously they were looking at possibly fighting each other in the air as well. So that's how far it is with Japan. It's just another whole magnitude more than anybody else is out there, more than the Royal Navy Air Arm or whatever it's called at this time compared to the RAF. It's not just some planes for carriers and some coastal patrol aircraft or something that's in the Navy's possession. It's its whole Air Force, and it's just non-cooperative. You're absolutely right, Savage Metal. That's one of my contentions. Was the problem with the Maginot Line, and getting me off topic, I know, is that it gave France the strategic mindset of pure defense as being how to deal with that. It wasn't a problem of concept. Military fortifications are a force multiplier, meaning 5 guys in a bunker are as good as, I don't know, 20 guys just, out there in slit trenches. The idea, proper concrete bunker or some element of force multiplier. It's that, and 2, it's a delay tactic. So it means you delay the enemy's attack long enough to see where it's developing to be able to then react to it. It's not meant, it shouldn't be meant as an impregnable shield. And that's what people looked outside of it as that. Yeah, well, they should have made it to the sea, but it would have cost them too much, and you have other important. Look, Arno, you know how Europeans think. You're one of them. You know what? Do we spend some money on national defense, or hey, we can do free healthcare for everybody? What's more important, protecting our nation or giving everybody free healthcare? Europeans think free healthcare. War's done with, war's over with, no one would dare do a war again, So, yeah, that's the way, they think. And, of course, America thinks, particularly at this time, hey, we've got 2 big open oceans, nobody can attack us. And still, that is still the American mindset of the American populace and the American government. The American government sees our army right now as an expeditionary force, Like in the olden days, going down to, Central America, now we get to play, in the sandboxes here. And otherwise, the Army is just sort of an expeditionary force. That's all it is. It's no longer thought of as a major war fighter. The Navy is to protect America from invasion, so we have a really strong Navy. And the Air Force is to sort of protect us from bombers coming over, the poles from the Soviet Union, which is no longer there, but still, that's what the Air Force is to protect us from. So we very much see our geographical isolation is the reason for not doing it. It's a little different, but actually they didn't go neutral, really, Daniel. Um, they had plans and they coordinated with the French to the point that there was some stage, um, or very early in 1940, they thought the Germans were invading Belgium, so the French started to move into Belgium and they go, oops, nope, nope, nope. And they turned around and went back home. Now, they had plans with the French. It was just they wanted to, and the French wanted them to stay neutral as long as they could. They thought they were going to be able to hold basically this province here and here, that with the Ebenemal fortresses and whatnot, and be able to hold that. What they were worried about, oh, well, let's see, we have big naval, or, I mean, not naval, sorry, air battles going on up here. Adolf Galland is commanding for the Germans. Good old Dolfo. What they were really sort of concerned about was being flanked through the Netherlands, is what actually did happen. You don't have free healthcare in the Netherlands? I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I thought everybody in Europe had free healthcare. That's what they tell us here in America, that it's only America that you have to pay for healthcare. Wow, I didn't know the Netherlands you had to pay for healthcare. I thought I'd been told that every industrialized, modernized, whatever nation has free healthcare for its people, and so the U.S. should have the same. Okay, good. We've won there, so now push, 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 push. Okay. Yes, we lost our Sudanese port. Support that, attack there. We want to save the capital, because if the capital falls, I think Iraq will quit on us and I'll lose my ally there. Okay, just we have some new people in here, and I know it'll be too late if you're watching this later, but this Wednesday coming up, the 30th, at 6 p.m. GMT, that's Greenwich Mean Time, time in England, I will be guest hosting the Slytherines company's Twitch channel, the company that brings you Strategic Command World at War, Panzer Corps, Order of Battle. I'm going to be guest host streaming on that, so I'd love to have you join me. I'm going to be playing Strategic Command with the start of Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. I'm sure you all knew that, but just wanted to be clear. So I'd love to have you join me if you're going to be around, and that's 6 p.m. in England. You can figure out where you are on the planet to figure out the time if you can make it. If you guys can make it. Yeah, I agree with you. Any nation right now that is relying upon America for its defenses is making a very big mistake. The U.S. can be a very good ally, but we change political parties. Things like that happen. Okay, we just messed with some subs or something here. And so Not that the U.S. isn't a good ally. It just, obviously you can see whether things like Vietnam or other things at some point, you can't count on us anymore. Well, Russia shot down a Netherlands, a Dutch airliner not that long ago. That's a bit of a threat, wouldn't you say? Shooting down a Dutch airliner? I would be a little pissed if they shot down my airliner. Okay, we've got the assault rifles thing, so our units are going to start to upgrade to have assault rifles, something that Japan did sort of make a copy based off vaguely off of the M1 Garand. Never put it into any production numbers, but made a, you know, pre-production models, maybe a bit more than prototype, but never really a full production. Oh, we're going to stop that. Okay, you guys come this way, you guys come this way. Are you only worried about attacks from your neighbors? The Dutch do have a coastline. I have heard of naval invasions. They've happened in the past. In fact, I think Japan has invaded some countries from the sea in the past. The US has. Oh, Britain has. Oh, Germany invaded some countries from the sea, including Norway. Well, but you can also, if you have a military force, you could say go in and help Ukraine secure the crash site. Well, that becomes expensive and depends on who's going to sell you or if they can build their own. Mud end starts to clear. Good. The only airline company that I know completely does that, not saying others don't, but the only one I know is El Al, Israel's Airlines. They have all anti-SAM capabilities on all their commercial jets, and I don't know if they would have been good enough to deal with the Russian missiles because they're designed to mostly stop shoulder fire type basic missile setups, not high-tech ones. Okay, we have desert warfare equipment, which allows us desert warfare unit training. Okay, I think that's a one and done. Yes, and we're fighting a lot in the desert. And we will do some desert training because we're fighting in the desert right now. Okay, we're here now. Yay, we're here now. Oh, let's hold up. You come up to here because we want to save that. You come up to here. No, strategically move. Okay, mountain troops. You guys, we have some mountains, so you guys come up to here. I think you come to the main front, being a little smarter than just simply everybody go one place. You come up towards the mountains too to help hold. There. That would be good. Don't know why these guys are taking forever. Oh, they're almost there. Major victory. Where do we have a major victory? Okay, cool. We stamped out an Australian pocket. Okay, things are getting better for us in Australia. Yes, you do also have a few possessions. Curacao and such right down here. Very small. That's what's left of your colonial empire. I don't think you have any others. You've given up Suriname long ago. And I do think Arno is meaning to continue to cooperate with other NATO powers, but the Dutch should be better prepared to do so along with everybody else. Yeah, most famous for its corruption. It's a very corrupt place down here. This is mostly a gangster hangout, I understand, and very famous for one of the connected people's sons killing an American teenager, Natalie Holloway, in America at least, famous for that. But yeah, they've still got... It's 2 islands down here, I think. Curacao and... I'm blanking on the other one. Rocket tests. Very good. We got rocket tests. Wanted to get rocket tests because we want to get rocket engines so that we can have radar-guided missiles. Well, we can't have rocket engines. Why can't we... Any jet province, rocket tests. Oh, God. I don't know if I want to build that. We'll see about that, but not right now. Didn't know I needed a rocket test site. I wouldn't have done that. Okay, gasoline engines. Yeah, let's go with gasoline engines. No, we're not trading with Germany right now. Oh, Aruba, yeah, that's right. Okay, you're here. Support that. I am really sort of worried about. I don't think it's going to happen, but if we look at victory point, they've got that, which is worth 2 points, and here is worth 3. So they take that. Well, I don't know. The 1 point down here of Basra would keep them in, and I don't want all these units that Iraq has to switch sides on me. That would be less than pleasant. Okay, now. No. There we go. They're the ones that lost all of their... Let's split this into 2. Only 1 per thing. So you rebase to carrier. And you rebase to carrier. No, wouldn't spend $300 on camels. If I thought it was going to mean the difference between winning and losing the war, I would spend $300 on camels. But I think it would be nice to have. I just quite honestly wonder how many am I going to build? So sure, a few units would be better, you know, better off having them than not having them. That's absolutely true. And I think that how long is it going to take me to get them here and all that stuff. And so they're a good idea. And you're also looking at, you know, if you don't realize it, people, you may have heard of something called the Falklands and the Falkland Island War when Argentina decided to invade down here. Well, what's Hugo Chavez, the Maduro's government, which is sort of collapsing, though it may survive, we don't know, down here in Venezuela, may just decide at some point that it wants to take Curacao and Aruba and whatnot and liberate it from European possessions and spread the, you know, save the people from freedom and prosperity and get them in the socialist fold. So we could see something like that happen. It's, you know, it's happened before. And if the Dutch look like they have no armed forces, and if it looks like you have a President Obama in power which would do nothing, whether he would or wouldn't, I'm not saying that. I'm saying which it looks like he would do nothing, they might decide to invade. So you don't need a big, huge military garrison down here. You just need to have a big enough force, including the ability to transport that force, so that the Dutch could go, yeah, you invade, we'll come and deal with you. And sure, you might think NATO and whatnot, but maybe the U.S. won't, you know, I'm looking at Ukraine right now, won't honor its agreement. So, yeah, you've got to sort of be, you know, careful about that. Medium artillery brigades. There are very few of these. Tremendous firepower. Build cost, yeah, we'll do that. I'd be somewhat worried about that, you know, maybe the Germans and the French might invade. What if just think of this almost impossible thing. What if the Netherlands decides it doesn't want to be part of the EU? You know, what would Germany and France do? I'm serious. What would they do? They might invade. Okay, you're going to stop attacking. Just go into the defense since they're now hitting us from all sides. And you just go into the defense too, and you as well. I know you're trying to save this force and you're sort of doing it, but... Okay, do we have fighters here that should be up? Yes. Why aren't you allowing me to... No, air intercept. There we go. Go after those American bombers. Okay, these guys are in better health now, and these guys are in okay health. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. They could use a... this one. They could use an anti-aircraft light cruiser. They could use a destroyer, the Chitose. They could use a destroyer. They were sent out here to sort of help some of these, and just never got really 3 destroyers. Who might we want to attach that to? They're back from that mission. That's pretty good. Let's put a couple over here. And add, yeah. Okay, now let's put you out to sea. Just so that snowfall increases, so that when we add Indian nationalists, well, okay, those guys will go. We're running low on supplies, I can see here. What is this division? This division's all right too. So let's go boom, boom, boom. Those put, nope, wrong damn force. Okay, everybody get off your boats. You guys come down here too. Rebase, get down there. Okay, Hideki Chojo, General of the Imperial Japanese Army, leader of the Taisei Yoku San Kai, and the 40th Prime Minister of Japan, was directly responsible for the attack on Pearl Harbor, which led to the war between Japan and the United States, although planning for it had begun. You will gain an HQ flavor unit representing his. Okay, wonder why we're getting this now and not a long time ago. Okay, cool. Autarky for our economy, no thank you. Now, can we put all of you on board this ship? Maybe that is our problem. That's what we want to do. Okay, so we've got 3 divisions, and we're going to do an invasion over here. They're going to come to invade. These guys are going to come to shore bombard. Oh, they can't get there. Okay, they can come to here and then shore bombard once they get close enough. I hope these, these are the invasion force. Hope these guys have the range to get to here. No, to here. No, okay, so you come here to then move closer. And these guys, we'll send them back to here. And then they're going to go back out over there once I get rid of the passenger ships. There we go. Hopefully these guys can make it. Yes, they have the range to move out there. And it was also, Arno's talking from the perspective of the Netherlands because he's Dutch. But you're also looking at collective security. What if, just hear me out for a moment. What if we have either a Republican isolationist president, like Trump sort of wants to be. He doesn't want to be in all these foreign wars. But let's just say you get somebody who's really hardcore isolationist. Whether he could be Republican or could be Democrat. Let's just say that happens. And let's just say the French-German Union is going swimmingly. There isn't There's nothing, no yellow vest kind of thing happening anywhere. And France and Germany are getting really cozy. And partisan outbreak, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't mean all these guys will freaking leave now. That's part of the problem is with what's going on is Germany's partisan outbreak. Okay, we got to pull troops from the Eastern Front. Oh, they're defeated. Oh, we can start sending them back, and so you just go ping ponging back and forth. That's part of the problem. But sorry about that. But Germany and France just doesn't want to rock the boat. Maybe they're getting, say, a lot of natural gas or oil from Russia or something. And maybe the Netherlands, Belgium, Denmark, Sweden all have a collective security agreement or something and want to say, oh, well, it's not like we want to go expeditionary forces, which I know that Danes did. I don't know if I presume the Dutch sent some troops to Afghanistan, but they want to like protect, help protect the Baltic states or Poland or Ukraine or something like that. But the French and the Germans just politically say no. Well, these other nations could go in and say, hey, well, you've just attacked here somewhere, and we know that you're going to keep swallowing up more countries, and yeah, maybe in the next 5 or 10 or even 20 years, the Netherlands and Belgium aren't threatened. But what is it going to be like in 50 or 100 years? Because political leaders really should think in those long terms. And so, 100 years from now, if you have Russia growing bigger and bigger and bigger and getting back Finland and getting back the Baltic states, because it did at once own those places, and thinking, oh, well, because, remember, Russia still owns these 2 provinces right in here. Basically, they still own Memel. Or maybe it's a little more here, but they still own a little sliver of land down in here. It's still Russian federal territory or whatever, all surrounded by Poland and Lithuania. And they're getting closer and closer and closer, and they want to look and stop it early, so they look at that kind of stuff. Or let's just say that there is a yellow vest revolution in France, and Belgium and the Netherlands don't want to be swallowed up by the yellow vest crusaders, and they want to have an army that looks strong enough to be hey, this would be a real battle if we attacked. Because if they just have glorified police units and 2 battalions of expeditionary elite troops to send off, to around the world to help police the world, but that's all it is, then it looks like, oh, all we have to do is just sort of roll in there and there's going to be no real opposition. So, it's just like an America may be distracted. America may not be going on. And even if France and Germany are in on whatever the action may be, defending against Russia, defending against Islamic State threats, I don't know what we could think of. Another Spanish Civil War breaks out, or something like that. They want to be able to deal with it without having to require America to show up, is part of what Arno is saying. So we can talk about the Netherlands in its isolation, but we can also talk about the idea of European countries, and what's going on. At least Americans aren't really aware of how much wars have been going on relatively recently. Since the post, and some of you are younger than this, I know, but since the breakup of the Soviet Union, you have the whole breakup wars of Yugoslavia. I'm still not sure if they're still battling over this pseudo state that's between Romania and Ukraine over here. If there's still active fighting going on, there's still active fighting going on in Georgia, sort of this part of this province, and part of it's here, something like that is something of a breakaway in Georgia that the Russians are supporting, and of course you still have Chechenian fighting and things like that. So you still, and of course you have the fighting in Ukraine currently. So, you know, it's all that kind of stuff going on that could flare up. That, yeah, you think Merkel isn't going to invade the Netherlands or something, and you're probably right about that, but I don't think it's something that you just sort of presume as being a thing. You know, you don't just take it as, oh, that it isn't going to happen. Submarines would be useful. They could all move out to Crete, and you can protect their island from invasion. Okay, yeah, let's form the Third Area Army. And also the old NATO, because what was NATO designed for? It was designed to protect against Soviet aggression. I know if you listen to the Soviets, it was an offensive organization designed to invade them, but no, it was really designed to protect against Soviet aggression. Well, the Soviet Union's gone, so you're getting more and more Americans thinking that they shouldn't, not that they shouldn't be in NATO, but they shouldn't. What's the real purpose, and why are we, the Americans, spending money on NATO? And not that it should go away necessarily, but why are we so heavily involved? And so you're getting that sort of thought. And so NATO specifically set up to have the navies, particularly of Europe, to have each nation sort of specialize in different naval capabilities, specialties. So a lot of Germans did anti-minesweeping stuff, if I remember correctly, to keep, passages through to the Baltic open and things like this. Instead of having well-rounded navies, have sort of specialized navies, because of course the Dutch and the Belgian and the Norwegian and the German and the Danish navies were all going to be in whatever action. But here's another scenario here. If let's say instead of an airplane shot out of the sky, let's say some terrorists take over a Dutch KLM airplane, and they land it somewhere, in failed state Somalia or failed state Yemen. And they don't trust the Saudis to do a good counter-terrorist rescue team. And America is distracted for some reason. Well, if the Dutch had a nice little pocket-sized navy, doesn't need, big battleships and carriers, but little pocket-sized ships that does have something that can take on and off, helicopters, then it might want to send down a small task force with a small counter-terrorist raiding team and try to rescue the aircraft and not rely upon other people. So, that's kind of thing. No more HQs, the supply tax is building. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right about that. I don't know. I may or may not take your advice on that, Dark Star, but it's good advice. Home front coordination, supply throughput. I don't know. Yeah, I'll increase range, so we'll do that. Okay, well, that's where we need some anti-submarine warfare. Vessels, let's see, I think we have some somewhat nearby. Yeah, some DEs. Okay, there we go. Patrol aggressively, yes, there we go. Deal with the American subs up there. Okay, major defeat. Where do we have a major defeat? Here? Okay, they're pushing us back. This is what I'm really quite honestly worried about, is facing off against proper European units with my Japanese forces. Okay, you walk the rest of the way, so you walk the rest of the way. And you walk the rest of the way. I think we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And if you, of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And hope to see you around. Are you going to be successfully saving? Are we saving just in time or not? I hope we're saving in time. Oh, come on. Save, 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 save. I'm not going to touch my keyboard until I get a save result out of this or a full and true crash. And for those of you watching on YouTube Live now, or if you watch this shortly after, I will be playing live streaming on Twitch on Slytherine's channel. That's the Game Company Slytherine Limited. I'm guest hosting over there on their Twitch channel on Wednesday, the 30th, starting at 6 p.m. GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. And I'd love to have you join me there. It's probably going to be more than 2 hours, so, you know, come by, say hi. You don't have to stay the whole length, of course. You don't have to show up at all, but I'd love to have you show up. So, if you could do that, it would really be helpful to me. I'm still waiting for this to end. I don't want to... Okay, there we go. And very good. It's successfully saved, but it is time to probably also... yeah, let's end this episode.